watch it hop up and down. In my opinion, do the yo-yo.
Yeah, and look at
it's shown it hasn't stopped. It hasn't stopped the trend.
It hasn't.
It hasn't at all.
It keeps cracking the highs, and there may be a bit of time in between, but until we get really decent confirmed tops put in, it just keeps on going.
Well, I know. I mean, this looks like a 3. Only a little 3 wave down, and we hold this 3%. And look at this RSI up here on the daily.
Yeah.
It's confirmed.
Yeah.
So maybe we do have one more run in rates to 3.5 or so, and then just like the yen at a new high, it won't confirm. But I think Ellioticians would say, well, this is a break to buy because right now it's just like an ABC. Not that I know anything about Elliott.
Sorry. Besides the text as well, I would be careful on rates going into July because, as we know, Fed has started QT, but there were so many runoffs this month that actually QT has not de facto kicked in yet.
You had Peter Schiff raising his.
No, it's not Peter Schiff. I've been saying that since 2 weeks, my friend.
Well, I know, but he's now making a stand. Like he's really bringing it to the to the public's view, and it's like, dude,
it's known. Sorry, it's known that they started QT in June, but they still had some runoffs and some other stuff going on. That the balance sheet has actually not shrunk in June yet, but I'd watch out in July because it could mean that mechanically it would start to have an effect on yields. I'm just saying.
And higher yields, does QT necessarily mean?
Should normally induce a bit under yields, yeah.
Okay.
Because it takes away liquidity.
Yeah, and people have to bid for funds like the Fed funds market. Right,
well, and it will, during the pandemic, the height of the liquidity injections, there was a massive amount of reserves.
Oh yeah, that was a problem. Remember?
And that is going to resorb itself gradually. It's already underway, by the way. But when QT will actually start to really shrink the balance sheet, those reserves will diminish as well. I'm just waiting for the first one, maybe Schiff himself, saying like, oh, there's a dollar shortage going on. But I mean, people will misunderstand QT for the dollar shortage.
So let's see what kind of week we're having in Bitcoin. It's still a down. It's an inside week after the crash. Anyway.
Yeah, Bitcoin is actually challenging that neckline, the inverted head and shoulder pattern right there. You can visualize it.
I can
show it to you.
Yeah, go ahead. I know some guys that think this is going. You never know if you have a low or the low until you look back in a rearview mirror.
Yeah,
right?
Yeah.
So I know some guys that think it is at least a low, maybe the low.
I'm in that camp. I think it is a low, not the low, and I think we get back to 25,000 or thereabouts. I mean, here's the Bitcoin look that I have where
it's nice.
Just above the neckline right now. But I really wanted to see a move above 21,700. I mentioned it on the trade-off show with Chris Weston earlier this week. I'm like, if we get above 21.7, we're looking at a move back to 25,000. I mean, and it's not. I don't think it's going to be the low, but I think risk is bouncing here too. But before I get into that, I want to talk about the S&P here in a second. But I wanted to ask Kman because he was just chiming in about things, and I didn't catch everything that we've said this morning. So bear with me if our chat room right now for some reason just before the show started, our chat room server's down, and so we're not really sure what the issue is. Even though our platform is working, our chat room is down. It doesn't go down very often, maybe once in the last couple of years, but it's down.
I think it got overwhelmed by great ideas. and couldn't handle it.
Might be. But I wanted to ask Kman and Ryan if they had any ideas about the yen. I'm hearing a lot of people are really starting to question the yen's weakness and the ability for the BOJ not to act. So I wanted to see if I can get your opinions on the yen really quick. And so what are your thoughts, you guys?
Well, as I was saying earlier, I was,
and I'm sorry I missed that.
No problem at all. Yeah. I'm watching these mid to low 134s for a starter on the dollar yen, and we had two spikes down there, and twice the buyers came in. I think for as long as Kuroda is not going to start to show his willingness to change anything, the rest of the pack is still raising rates, and for as long as the global economy data are not really going to fall out of bed, we're probably going to continue to find deep buyers in yen pairs. I was a bit surprised actually it didn't go lower with the oil and all the commodities coming off. I was a bit surprised. I didn't dare honestly to buy it. Looking at oil and looking at the commodities, I didn't dare to buy the dip into the low 134s because I really thought myself that we have a chance of going lower here, and it didn't. It bounced again. So I think all people, I'm afraid that I have to say that people looking for tops now are still taking a risk. Yeah, we saw a big figure lower overnight. Well, and this morning it went nearly a big figure lower, but then here we are. We're back above 135.
Yeah, I actually shorted it last night right around these levels, and then I got up this morning and I was up like 50 some odd pips, and I'm like, oh, okay, great. We're it's 38% retracement. We're going to start our trading lower, and then you're right, it was up all the way back up in my face, back to break even. I was like, damn, I should have just taken the 50 while I had it. Anyway, it's going to be really interesting. There's a lot of people that are now starting to talk about the yen, and I still agree with you. It is the risk now is being on the short side, and I'm there. So
wait for your taxi driver or your dentist to start to talk about the yen. Then you're sure we're going.
I used to wait for the shoe shine guy.
Yeah. Then you're sure we are going to see 150 before the whole thing reverses.
Kay, I'm not sure we're still in the era that you'd have a taxi driver talk about F.A.C.E because all the retail crowd has shifted to all the
I'm getting
Uber driver.
Yeah, it's now my Lyft driver that's talking. Well, all right. Well, let's move on to the S&P because I want to show you guys a couple of charts really quick. So if you remember from the week ahead video, I'm going to point this out. This daily chart, this is the Dow. That's support, or the 2020 or previous highs post-COVID. That's also the 38% retracement. You can see it, we stopped and we bounced, from there, and you can see the daily charts bouncing pretty aggressively. Actually, I'd argue that if we get above these highs, you're going to start to see the Dow. This is the Dow Jones Industrial Average. You're going to start to see that squeeze. Then you got the NASDAQ pivoting off of channel support, 161% extension of this move, 50% retracement of the post-COVID lows. This is the lockdown lows to the highs, 50% retracement. We're around there. I mean, we're about there right now. We're getting a little bit of a lift, but you can see, even in this case, you're seeing a little bit of a false breakdown, but more importantly, you're seeing a break above these highs that I was just illustrating with you with the Dow. Well, the NASDAQ is already kind of moving there. Now the S&P, as you all know, we have this channel support, talking about it being a little oversold. Here we go into a Friday. Now, the 38% retracement of the May high, the May 30th high, and then the trend low, 38% retracement comes in at 38.55. We're about, roughly about, 20, 25 points somewhere, depending on, where you're looking at and what index or futures you might be staring at. We're getting close. We're, you know, a stone's throw away from breaking out above those highs, and then also the 38% retracement. Now, it's Friday, and I don't know if there's any excuse to be buying on Friday other than, you know, positioning. But what are your thoughts on, you know, the stock market? It's looking like, you know, can we have a Friday squeeze, especially if the University of Michigan, you know, numbers are tame-ish? What do you think? What do you guys think here? We can go around the horn. We can start with Stelios. I know Stelios is running around with a chicken, like a chicken with his head cut off this morning. Stelios, you have any thoughts on the markets here?
Quick answer is no. I still think we're gonna.
Okay, moving on.
Yeah, go
Ryan,
on.
you have any? I'm just
go. No, I have nothing new to say from what I said yesterday. You know, it scares me because we have Bullard who says I want to take rates to 350 and keep going, and our inflation is our main target. Blah blah blah. This is all very hawkish, but then again, Bullard is Bullard. But Bullard I really
bullshit.
What?
Say
what?
Okay,
no.
Sorry, PG. Go
what?
ahead. I said Bullard's bullshit. Bull.
Oh, okay. Yeah. So you know, as long as the Fed is tightening and yes, yields have dropped and the markets are pricing less now, but their course, as far as I'm concerned, is still the same. They will tell us when the time is come to get bullish risk.
All right.
They're going to ring a bell.
Well, we'll ring a bell.
Ring a neck.
Yeah. Right. Real quick, Ryan, I'm going to let you to chime in here, but
You're probably right.
Mention, Benedict asked, and this is Benedict, longtime, you know, supporter, chat room trader, actually friend of mine. He asked, is the ForexAnalytix chat room down? Yes, it is. Can't seem to log in. Our developers are on it. So just so you know that. And I actually received emails from traders, Steph. So if you're listening in, yes, you know. So anyway, you guys know in the ForexAnalytix chat room, we should have that up here shortly. Okay.
Keep your eye on Twitter as well. We'll put updates on our Twitter stream.
Yeah,
well.
Very good. Thank you. And yeah, and the Twitter handle did say that we don't have any issues with the platform. It's just but it is the chat room. Thanks, Ryan. But let's hear your thoughts on the markets here. What do you think? It's Friday. We're drifting.
Well, that's probably the perfect look. I don't know if you want to take it down to a 15-minute. Because again, I mentioned this.
How about a tick chart? Can we do a tick chart? I'm joking. Here's a 15-minute chart. Go ahead.
You know, what do you want the S&P to do here? It's broken 38.10, 38.11. It's showing it as support. You won't get a cleaner technical indicator than that. The old level is now support. That's your marker. If we want to push higher, we've got to continue to hold that, and then you get your move up to your fib levels and so on. But if we slip under again, you know, is this just another little fake out, little false break of a level, and we head back south again? The Michigan is the final reading, so that tends not to be too far off what the flash number is.
Yeah, can we get revisions?
Yeah. It'll be the revision, but as I say, they tend not to be huge. If it is a big variation, and remember, the Fed and Powell are looking at those inflation expectations. So aside from the confidence levels and expectations, watch those inflation numbers. They'll be the kicker for today.
Okay, thank you very much. Hey, Nuno asks, how many persons with real accounts in trader funding program right now? We don't disclose that information, but there's people that join the TFP and get funded live every single week. I don't think we've had a week where we don't have people that go into live trading environments. So make sure you join the TFP or at least check it out. You know, since Nuno, you asked this question, let me stop here for a second. And I want to talk about it. Then don't worry, Kman, I'm coming to you here in just a second, and then we're going to go to Steve. You know, the trader funding program, the reason why this program has been so beneficial and popular with people is that when you're trading, like let's say you got $100,000 you want to trade, all right, you have $100,000 account. to access a $100,000 account, you take $1,000 assessment. So your risk is really $1,000. But if you're trading a live account and you're like, you just open an account with 100 grand, your risk is your 100 grand. And if you're just like an average trader, you might have a swing of 5 to 10% loss, in your live trading account. So your 100 grand could be 95, 100, 90 grand after taking some losses before it starts trending higher again. If you're ebb and flow of a normal trader, well, you may not want to risk $10,000 of your $100,000 money. So in essence, you take an assessment and it costs you $1,000. And if you're good enough, you can qualify to trade our money. Then you take no downside risk and you keep 75% of the profits. You just have to adhere to the rules of the assessment. That's why it's such a popular program for traders. And that's why so many people are doing it. So, hey, if you don't want to put your own money at risk, or let's say you just don't even have access to this type of capital, then check out the trader funding program. Thanks, Nuno, for writing in. We do have live traders that access real accounts every single week, sometimes multiple traders a week. So there you go. And Michael says, I like that there is no time limit. No, we don't put a time limit, which, I've done prop trading over the years. I spent, 5 years doing prop trading. And you know what always happens at the end of the quarter? When it comes to payday, I start making bad decisions. How many of you, Ryan, you trade on, you're a floor trader. Kman, you're a trader on the desk for 40 years. Yeah, Stelios, you traded at a bank. When it's quarterly bonus time or annual bonus time, I would always, I knew payday was coming up, and man, I would get frantic as far as trading goes. And I cannot tell you how many quarters I've had, let's say, I knew I was going to get paid X amount, and then I ended up pissing away the last 2 weeks, like a lot of my profits, because that time worked against me.
How about when you had a broker dealer, Blake? Did you do a lot of trades the last day of the month?
No.
Wasn't that production day? Come on.
That is the biggest bullcrap production you could do. No.
Sounds
but as
good.
far as
Let's
getting
do
paid
it.
out quarterly, it really, our chat room has just got up, guys. So anyway, there is no time limit on the trader funding program. That's a huge benefit to you guys. All right, Kman.
The chat room seems to be back up.
Yeah, chat room is back up. Thanks, everybody. All right, so what are your thoughts on the S&P here?
Me?
Oh yeah, on the markets.
On the markets, I can.
Are we going to squeeze?
I have absolutely no idea right here and now.
Gosh, you're no good. You're no good either.
No, I am.
All right.
I'm pretty good. I'm long mix. I'm long Swissy. I'm pretty good.
You are pretty good. All right. Well, let's move on. Your opinion is no good. All right. So, Steve, help us out, please. What do you think?
Steve short still.
Yeah.
Oh,
absolutely.
Well, Steve, can we squeeze your shorts? Is that possible? By the way, the dollar max is taking a poop dive, which I know Kman and I are happy about. So we are almost at the 618 retracement in the dollar max of this failure. We've been looking for this move lower. I know Kman's trading short Euro max. I'm trading short dollar max. So we're almost there. But Steve, how do you feel about the S&P? Can we squeeze your shorts into Friday? What do you think?
I'm still 15% in the money, so kind of doubt it.
I'm not picking on you. I'm just talking about the rest of the market. Stop thinking about yourself for one moment and think about everybody else. Can the market squeeze higher?
Yes, but the extent is questionable in my opinion. First area of resistance 3880. I mean, next area actually, not first. So yeah, I guess on a Friday we can squeeze a little bit higher. Why not?
All right. Well, this is a traders show today for F.A.C.E. Do we have any data coming out like right now? And by the way, with ForexAnalytix, you get this data flash right here. Let's see. Oh yeah. Is this coming out right now? No, that's for a while. That's in an hour or 30 minutes. All right. So we don't have any data coming out right now. So Dale, do you have an interview today?
No.
Oh, then we can talk a little bit further.
Yeah.
So this is Friday. We are trying to squeeze a little bit into the remainder of the week. I think we all can agree that we want to be sellers in the equity markets. I'm actually looking for a move closer to the maybe 50 DMA, which would be around 40, 50, maybe if things, depending on what squeezes the market higher, we can possibly go higher than that. But what are your thoughts, Dale? Do we squeeze going into Friday?
Yeah, I see no reason not to like the market when we talked about having this vicious bear market rally last week before we had this week's pop. So I don't know the exact path, but I think 4,100 is possible. I talked about a summer rally. Maybe it only goes into, July, August, but I wouldn't be short down here.
Yeah, let's imagine right now for the year, we're still down 20%. Yeah. From the beginning of the year, from the calendar year. So I mean, we're still in bear market territory. I would assume that we're going to close the year somewhere, 6 months from now. We're going to close the year down probably substantially. Are we going to close, down 10 or 20%? Who knows? But I know we've had a big shift in monetary policy this year. So, downside pressure is going to be mounting at some point at the, towards the end of the year. But I agree with you, Dale. I think, we're oversold. It's been very, very bearish. Sentiment is super bearish. Everybody's talking recession. Everybody's talking, disinflationary pressures. Everybody's talking about, death and doom and, my God, crypto's going to hell in a handbasket, housing market. You might as well just, flip that upside down on its head. Look, it's pretty negative out there. So it's probably about time where the market starts to get a little bit of a bounce. So, final thoughts into the weekend. Let's start out with Ryan. What do you think here?
I think we're a bit in wait and see mode. As we looked at, you look at commods, you look at FX, you look at yields, it's a completely different picture. FX is going nowhere. It's other things that are moving. And until we get that picture changing and the market having those divergence between economies, for FX at least, I see us just ranging.
So what do you make anything about this, the CRB index, the commodities index really coming down? What do you make of these this downside pressure in commodities that we're seeing?
It's part of this recession fear stuff. But it also becomes a bit self-fulfilling for the inflation picture, because if we're seeing commodities come down, that's going to ease inflation.
Yeah.
So I made a case yesterday why a recession might be a good thing, because even the threat of a recession starts getting people's behavior changing.
Yeah, maybe they'll go back to work.
Well, maybe bad news will become good news for the stock market, because people fear a recession, but they know that the Fed put is maybe only one hawkish statement away.
Well, right? the way the rates markets are pricing out ECB hikes into the end of the year, they'll probably be pricing QE by next week.
Yeah, I mean, come on, talk a little bit about that, Ryan. I mean, it's a big turnaround, right?
Yeah, I mean, it's not a huge turnaround. I mean, before the PMIs, there was 170 pips of hikes priced into the end of the year for the ECB. After the PMIs yesterday, it was down to 160. This morning, it's down to less than 150. 10, 20 pips between friends isn't a lot. But it's just, again, it shows how quick the sentiment changes. Yeah. Last week before, it's 75, 100 pip hikes. Who's going to hike the biggest? And now we're here and it's recession. The world is ending. Go and live in a cave.
All right. Well, Ryan, do you have any trade ideas that you're thinking of going into this Friday? Anything that's hot on your radar? I mean, I look at copper and I'm like, okay, daily sentiment index was at 7. We're at the 161% extension of the last move higher. Copper's probably going to bounce. Guess what's probably going to bounce here with it? We're going to see the Aussie. So what do you think, Ryan? Anything going into Friday?
Yeah, I've not got anything. I'm sitting with orders or anything like that. I'm just managing positions. I'm just waiting for my levels. I was talking about the Aussie dollar today. You can potentially look at it in the 68, 80s, that sort of area.
Yep.
Something like that for a dip buy. But I'm picking my edges and I'm trading the edges, and that's all I'm going to look to do.
All right, Ryan. Well, thank you very much for your input this week. Kman, what are your thoughts? Do you have anything that you got going on that's like, aside from talking up your book on the Euro Mexican short? By the way, great short.
Hey,
by
the way, I sold $Mex this morning as well.
Did you? You joined on the peso bandwagon
when it started to dive back below 20, I said, let's have a dance with Salma and see what she can come up with. So
in the chat room, just so everybody knows, we call dollar Mexican peso Salma.
Yes.
That's her nickname after Salma Hayek.
And we are going to drink tequila tonight because both $Mex and Euro Mex are coming off. Since the euro doesn't move much, it's pretty much the same position.
So, do you think that the peso will continue to? Do you think the dollar Mexican peso can get down here to the 1950 level? I mean,
1950 is maybe where we can end up, but I think the 75 zone is going to be relatively important on the $Mex already. But then, as you know, I'm quite often when I don't have like a firm view on the dollar, I like to do crosses, and I still think euro is a bit weakish, and I prefer to do the Euro Mex. Euro Mex can actually, because you have a bigger interest rate differential, so the carry is better. And you're looking at a 7.75% currency versus one where they are still debating and not even started to raise rates. So I think Euro makes since euro dollar isn't moving because all yields are moving in tandem, it's relatively speaking the same position. But if we start to break below 2090 on the Euro Mex, we could accelerate, in my opinion. That one, and then the other one I'm still trading since Jordan of the S&P started to warn the markets about hikes. Started to be
look at this big double top brewing in dollar Swiss, but I know you're not going to talk about that, right?
No, I'm short Euro Swiss because I'm not a dollar bear. I'm still not a dollar bear, so it's hard for me to trade something against my overall bias and my personal one, which may be completely wrong. I'm not saying, but Euro Swiss and dollar Swiss. Well, since euro dollar isn't moving much, Euro Swiss and dollar Swiss are relatively the same position as well. But Euro Swiss is coming very, very close to parity, so I'm going to be a bit careful. I've been jobbing it around the core short, and I'm looking for parity, if not today, in the sessions to come. So
and the 161% extension of this most recent move comes in just really close to here, and this could be a Gartley setup. I don't have any skin in the game, with the Euro Swiss, but I think you got to be careful. If we start to find some buyers ahead of parity, would be my only 2 cents there.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, some buyers or the buyer, the S&P.
The buyer, it could be the buyer. Very good. Thank you very much, Kman. And let's see. Let's go to Stelios. What do you think going into? Wait, never mind. You're going to just say silver, Steve. What do you think going into? Just kidding, Stelios. God, I have to harass you a little bit. What do you think going into weekend, Stel? Anything big here?
He's gone to the beach already.
He's like, oh, Blank's gonna make fun of my silver. or he's still on mute. Okay, he's still on mute. Steve, any thoughts going into the end of the week? Oh, Steve had to leave.
He's down the beach as well.
Yeah,
what are we all doing here? I'm going down the beach. See ya.
That's so rude. All right, Dale. I think we lost all the Greeks.
Okay.
They took off to the beach. So, Dale, any last thoughts for you going into?
Yeah, just don't just count your pips, count your blessings. Have a great weekend, everyone. Consider the trader funding program. It could give you the edge that you're missing. And right. I want to thank the team for laying it all out on the court, for our subscribers, and for the F.A.C.E community. The way to say thank you is to subscribe.
And by the way, when you're in the trader funding program, we actually give you ForexAnalytix for a certain period of time, because we want you to succeed. We want you to get to a live trading account. So
looking forward to interviewing some of the people that have gone live. Down the road. And that's not everybody's a movie star like you, Dale. So I know that, but I hang out with regular people too.
All right. Well, hey everybody, thanks for a great week. Thank you, Ryan, Stell, Kman, Steve, and the rest of the ForexAnalytix crew working behind the scenes. And thanks everybody for listening in every single week. And I'll see you on the week ahead video.
Cheers, guys.
All right. Cheers, Ryan, Kman, Blake. Have a great weekend, team.
Have a perfect weekend.